So Airbnb is dead. It's dead. It's completely dead, oversaturated, not worth your time.
Yeah, you might as well just quit right now.
Just quit right now. Quit while you're ahead. If you don't know what you're doing, and if you don't know how to get into the right properties, that can make you almost $150K a year with the revenue that it generates. That's exactly what we're going to show you in today's video and today's training. We're actually sitting in that current Airbnb that we own. It's at the Mystic Springs Chalet. This is your first time joining us. I'm Katrina.
Michael here.
We are the creators of STR Wealth Academy, everything short-term rentals, long-term wealth.
Let's dive into it.
All right, so like I said, we are sitting in one of our properties. It's called the Mystic Springs Chalets. We absolutely love this townhouse chalet. It's a 2-story, only a 2-bed, 2-bath. I think it's under like 900 square feet.
Yeah.
This one property alone produces almost $150K in Airbnb and short-term rental bookings for us in 1 year. We're going to show you how we've done it, and we're also going to show you here, it's like it is not too late to get into the Airbnb game. It is totally worth it if you know what you're doing.
So the biggest thing that you've probably heard a lot over the last, several months, maybe, the better part of 2024 is that Airbnb's dead, it's saturated, there's no more money, there's easier ways to make money out there. And the reality is, if you're following the strategy that most people are following, it's probably not worth your while. But in this video, again, we want to show you how literally one property can be the foundation that can change your financial destiny literally forever. Okay,
Yeah.
So we're going to get into the numbers. We're going to show you exactly how much this property we're sitting in produced over the last 12 months and how, if you follow the right plan, you can essentially do the same thing.
Yeah, so if this is your first time joining us, we are the creators of STR Wealth Academy. We have over 70 properties in our portfolio, and we do it all. We literally own properties, we rental arbitrage properties, and we also partner and manage properties as well within our portfolio. So this unit in particular, we wanted to show you guys that we're currently sitting in is in Canmore, Alberta, and we actually own this property ourselves. So we bought it a few years back. We renovated it, make it super nice. You're going to see some videos, kind of exactly how it looks here. And we reinvested into our business. So we grew our portfolio so it could produce cash flow to buy lifestyle assets like this. So we love coming to the Canadian Rockies. It's so beautiful while we're here. And we're like, let's invest in here. And so we literally just invested our money from our short-term rental business, was able to purchase properties here, and now they're cash flowing assets.
So that's the overall plan that we coach and train people on is if you're just getting started in the industry, the fastest way to replace an income is to learn how to first control other people's properties to generate cash flow, and then to take that income that you're making from that and then start to acquire units of your own. So this unit we actually purchased back in 2021. And we've been running it for the last several years. And what we want to do is we want to dive into the numbers to show you exactly how it's done over the last 12 months. And just to give you guys perspective on, again, what's possible if you're following the right strategies. So let's dive into the numbers. Okay, welcome back everyone. What you're looking at right now, so this is very current. At the time this is being recorded, this is on December the 1st, 2024. This is a snapshot from last December to the end of November, okay? So as we showed you, this one property has done just over actually $143,000 in revenue, okay? So this is from all the different booking sources. So we don't just rely on one platform. We are multi-platform. So we advertise on Airbnb, Booking.com, VRBO. We get some direct bookings in there occasionally as well, okay? Now, when you are advertising on these sites, obviously they take their pound of flesh, okay? This property is really interesting because we actually get the majority of our bookings from Booking.com. I'm not exactly sure why.
We're dialed in on this one.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it just produces bang for us, as you can see on here.
Now, obviously, they take their pound of flesh. Yeah. So their platform's a little bit different. They actually charge the host the service fees, where Airbnb, at least at the time this is being recorded, they actually charge most of that to the guest. That may change in the future. We shall see. Now, anyways, so that's the commissions that we pay to the sites to get the exposure, to get the traffic. So now, because this unit is in an HOA, we have to pay some condo fees. A lot of our utilities are rolled into that, so that's why you won't see them on a separate line item here. We have a mortgage, okay, so our goal, though, is that this property is actually going to be free and clear within the next year and a half is what it's currently pacing at. So we'll show you the impact of having a debt-free asset can make for you later on.
Yeah, we just bought this a few years ago. We're going to have it paid off in under 5 years, which is kind of crazy to think about, but that's the power of short-term rentals. And when you produce this kind of cash from a unit like this, you're able to do lump sums or reinvest in other units.
100%. So now you'll see here we have the maid cleaning charge. That's for $18,000. That is subsidized and paid for by the cleaning fee that we generate in the revenue up above. Okay. Now, obviously, when you rent to people, people break shit. Okay. Stuff goes wrong. You need to get people out there to fix things. Because we had done a fairly extensive renovation, there really wasn't that much work that needed to happen. So it was more just like little niggly stuff here and there that got taken care of. So that's where, in future years, we'll probably have to budget a little bit more for maintenance and upkeep. But right now, she's still in pretty good shape. Okay. Supplies, obviously, people are going to use toilet paper,
paper towel, soap.
Okay. Here's the insurance. Now, this is a specialty insurance, so we can actually rent it as a short-term rental. Okay. Super important. Make sure you're covered. Okay. Internet, we pay, I think, like $95 a month. We have an annual permit that we have to pay, which is relatively inexpensive. Property tax.
Yeah, you gotta pay. Pay to stay. Pay to stay to have it, own it.
Yeah, you gotta pay your taxes, okay? I'm not sure why there's another line item coded for repairs and maintenance, but I'll have to check with the bookkeeper. Same with supplies. But anyways, on a net basis, this property just shy of a 40% net margin, which is super healthy, okay? Now, like we said, our goal with this particular property is we want to own it free and clear. I know that flies in the face of pretty much all the real estate stuff you see on YouTube where they tell you that you need to leverage yourself to the moon and back, and that is how you're going to reach financial independence. It totally depends what your strategy is. Now, personally, I'm of the view that I don't really believe you can be fully financially free if someone has a claim over a portion of your income. Now, irregardless of whether a tenant or a guest is paying back the note for you, that stuff is not guaranteed, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so your mortgage is always going to come out of your account regardless of whether or not you have revenues. Just from a personal standpoint, Katrina and I, we just like to have the peace of mind where if anything was to happen, so watch this as an example, okay? So if I pull the mortgage expense out, okay, so if we no longer had a mortgage on this property, well, then our net cash flow jumps from 40% to nearly 53% net margin. So almost $77,000 a year.
In our pocket.
Which is higher than the median income of most people in Canada, okay? And that's from one property. Now, what we didn't tell you guys is that we actually own 4 properties like this one in this market that we're currently in. And our goal is to have all of these assets free and clear within the next 2 to 3 years because we've just been doing lump sums on the property. We've been paying down the mortgages more aggressively. Again, we could have leveraged out the equity, bought more properties with those proceeds. But at the end of the day, it comes down to your lifestyle and how you want to live. The reality is the bigger portfolio you have, the more stuff you have to manage. You got to weigh it against what we like to call the headache to income ratio. And personally, I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of lazy and I don't like to work harder than I need to, okay? And the reality is if you have assets that are debt-free and you don't have the debt servicing costs, you don't need that big of a portfolio in order to live very well, have a lot of income coming in, and not a lot of headaches. Once this property is free and clear, this literally takes us probably 1 hour a week to manage of our time, if that.
Not even. Just with the automations, the systems, the team. Again, this property is in Canmore, Alberta. It is a few hours away from where we live, and it just runs on its own like clockwork with the systems, the team members, the softwares we set up. It's incredible. And even, having a very boutique portfolio doesn't have to take a lot of time, especially when it's producing potentially 54% of the bottom line, when you don't have a mortgage paid off on it. So it's incredible.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I hope you found value in us going through the numbers and taking you through exactly what this property that we're sitting in produce, and also the potential of short-term rentals. If you're following the right strategy, you have the right plan, and you're taking advantage of where the industry is going, which is what we really talk about and embody on this channel.
Yeah, so getting into Airbnb and short-term rentals doesn't have to be scary. Just being able to run the numbers, making sure you have an idea of what it can produce is huge. And we really reinvested in this property. We completely renovated it when we got it. We changed out lighting. You can see some of the the features in here. We got an interior designer in it, and we made sure we could have the amount of heads and beds in it as well. Even though it's a 2-bed, 2-bath, it can sleep up to 10 guests, which is incredible. This has one of the largest outdoor pools in Canmore, a large outdoor hot tub as well. It is an absolute beauty of a property, and they're super rare to get into. There's only, I think, a handful of units in this complex. It's one of the OGs in the space. It's one of the original vacation rentals in Canmore. We snagged one of these up, which has been incredible. So totally worth the investment. And like I said, this is only one of the 4 that we own here.
Cool. So hope you found value in this video. Again, if you're following the right plan, you 100% can get yourself on the path to being able to replace a working income in a reasonable amount of time. Like, we've been in this industry for, just over 6, almost 7 years now. To get to this point in any other style investment, you'd have to have a lot more capital invested, like a lot more.
Hey guys, if you found this video really, really useful and you're like, hey, wow, you found one property that can make almost $150K a year by finding the right property in the right market, getting the right clients at a high occupancy, we're actually hosting a workshop next week on December 11th, 4 p.m. MST, diving into how to find these right properties, making sure that you're putting all the success in your favor so that you can run that dream short-term rental business you've always wanted.
So if you'd like to be able to attend this workshop, the link to it is just in the description beneath this video. We want to make this training accessible to as many people as possible, so the tuition for the workshop is just $100 one time. Go ahead, if you want to find out more information, just click the link in the description below, and we'll see you on the training.
Guys, that's will be $100 for the live session. If you want the replay, it will be a higher cost at $300 for the replay, so make sure you show up live, and we'll see you next week on the workshop.
Take care.